Hello everyone, welcome back to Coding with Zaki. In today's video, we're going to learn one of the most important topics for modern .NET applications. OpenTelemetry. If you've ever wondered questions like, how do I see what's happening inside my application? Why is my API slow? Which requests are failing? How do companies monitor applications running in production? Then OpenTelemetry is exactly what you need. Let's jump into Visual Studio Code. The first thing we do is add the OpenTelemetry packages. There are 5 packages that needs to be added. Let's create a configuration file for it. We will add the service name. An activity source to track the custom traces. A meter to where we can send the custom metrics. And finally a counter to keep track of all the requests. Back to program.cs file, let's add all the required namespaces. Then we will register OpenTelemetry. Next we configure a resource. Think of a resource as metadata describing our application. In this case we're giving it a service name. This is what will appear inside the aspiredashboard. Next we configure tracing. We're adding several instrumentations. First, add aspnetcore instrumentation. This automatically tracks every incoming HTTP request. Next, add HttpClient Instrumentation. Whenever our application calls another API using HttpClient, those requests are automatically traced too. Then, add source. This allows us to create our own custom spans. Finally, add OTLP Exporter. This exports all telemetry to our OpenTelemetry collector. Now we configure metrics. Again we're adding ASP.NET instrumentation. So request counts and durations are collected automatically. We're also adding HttpClient Instrumentation and Runtime Instrumentation. Runtime instrumentation collects useful information like CPU usage, memory garbage collection. Again we export everything using the OTLP Exporter. Next we configure logging. Instead of writing logs only to the console, we're sending them through OpenTelemetry as well. Notice we've enabled include formatted message, include scopes, parse state values. These make our logs much richer when viewed inside dashboards. Let's add a record for the employee. Now let's look at our endpoint. When someone creates a new employee, we're creating our own activity. This becomes a custom span inside the trace. We're naming it Create Employee. Then we're adding tags. Tags provide additional information. For example, employee.name and employee.age. Later we'll be able to filter traces using these values. This is extremely useful when debugging production issues. Next we're recording a custom metric. Employee created.add1. Every time this endpoint runs, our counter increases by 1. We're also attaching the employee name as a tag. This lets us break down metrics by attributes. You could also track things like orders placed, payments processed, files uploaded. Anything important to your business. Finally we write a structured log. Now let's see everything working. I'm using the Aspire dashboard running inside Docker. It maps ports. We have called it dashboard and the image is from Microsoft. Next we tell OpenTelemetry where to send data. Set the OTLP endpoint. And notice the port is the same as above. If you are using Windows, use $env instead of export. I will add an HTTP file to call this endpoint for different employees. Finally, retrieve the dashboard access URL and login token with Docker logs. Open the URL shown in the logs. Now let's send a request to our employee API. Immediately you'll start seeing traces metrics logs. You can drill into every span and details. Today we learned what OpenTelemetry is, how to instrument a .NET 10 application, how to create custom traces, how to record custom metrics, how to send logs, and finally how to visualize everything inside the Aspire dashboard. Once you understand these concepts, moving to tools like Azure Monitor, Grafana, Jaeger, Honeycomb, Datadog or New Relic becomes much easier because they all build on the same OpenTelemetry foundation. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay up to date with all my latest .NET and AI content.